Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today I just have another WWE action figure mail opening for you guys, and for those of you who are my WWE figure watching viewers that have been waiting like a while for another figure video and even longer for one that isn't a mail opening, I do actually have people to blame for this one. So yeah, there's been a whole story behind this one, and it's a video in 3 parts. I wanted this to go out on Monday. It's actually now the Sunday, in case it takes me a while to edit this for whatever reason. Monday the 14th? 15th? 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, Monday the 15th of July was when I wanted this to go out. Unfortunately, I ordered... So basically, the providence of this video is, as you can see from the title, Vinted finally came in with some decent WWE figure deals. Amazing. The downside is one of them decided not to turn up, kind of. So I ordered a sensational Sherry figure for £7.50, still boxed. I was pretty happy with that. I waited a couple of days, and then I started getting... Well, I didn't even get emails. I didn't get any notification from InPost. I just was checking the tracking, and they were saying, attempted delivery to your InPost locker, failed, we'll try again tomorrow. Every single day, until I eventually gave up. And 2 days after giving up, I finally got notified it'd been sent back to the seller, who it then arrived with 6 hours later. So they're pretty convinced they never actually attempted to deliver it at all. Plus, you got to bear in mind, my InPost locker is massive. It's outside our resident Morrison's up the road. It is huge. There is no way they could possibly fail to deliver to that InPost locker like 5 times, I think they try before they give up. No way. Not a chance in hell. And it's kind of ironic because the other thing I wanted more, and it took them a few days to dispatch it, so I got that ominous feeling of when you buy something great on eBay or whatever, and you're kind of like, oh, I'm not going to get it, and then you don't get it, and you have to put a claim in, get your money back, all that kind of stuff. I kind of got that feeling. That actually did arrive with me, but then the Sherry didn't. So that's a whole thing. There's even more to that story, which I'll get into later, and there's more people that I want to blame for delaying this. It's not just InPost, Every, or Vinted, whoever is in charge of whatever's gone wrong there. There's other people to blame too. Not the seller though. The seller was very kind. The last thing, or the first thing we have to go through on this, is a bundle of figures that these might have been sat with me for like 2 weeks now. Because when they arrived, I knew that the Sherry was coming. And then later the other figure on Vinted was coming too. So I didn't open this, and then obviously we've just been waiting for the Sherry. So yeah, not all my fault. And then when everything finally arrived, obviously the weather became a little bit ridiculous. I filmed my driving test on Friday, so I don't fancy doing the video then either, and it was really hot. It was really hot on Saturday. Also, by this point in the week, with the heat and all the stuff that's been going on with driving tests, and like I've just been so anxious for the driving test, I haven't really been able to do anything, and then it's been really hot, and I've failed the driving test, all this kind of stuff. So I now have 4 mail openings and 2 pack openings to do, and well, this is the second one done now. This is the second mail opening done. Still need to do 2 mail openings, 2 pack openings. We'll see how much more of that we get done today. Yeah, so driving examiners, InPost, the sun, just everyone's to blame for this one except me, guys. You gotta remember, I'm not at fault here. My hands are clean. This has got nothing to do with me at all. I have no responsibility. Absolutely none. So I think this is a pretty good bundle, but I can only remember that there's a basic Big Show in it. But, I mean, basic Big Shows sell pretty good. I'm pretty sure there was a few elites in this as well. So, let me see. Right, we got... Oh, so we got an elite Big Cass to start things off with. That's a complicated one because there's 3 points to this. Yeah, there's probably a few pounds in it if I sell it. Fair enough. 2, NWA Pickfed is back on the cards, and he's an ideal person for that. But also, I don't need to keep clinging on to figures for possible appearances in figure feds that I don't end up actually making. And finally, look at that head. Who could I make a custom of that with? If I maybe brightened it up a bit, maybe added a little bit more orange to it. Who could that be? We got a basic John Cena, just mandatory, you know. It's mandatory blue jean shorts, crap all over him and damage to the hair, you know, absolutely mandatory. And then the Big Show basic It's not in the best of condition, but I've already proven a few mail openings ago. I mean, this kind of has, I mean, that almost looks like staining from slime, like black slime on his shoulder there. It's possible. That might be harder to swig if I can't clean it off. But I've proven before that I can sell bad condition Big Shows for the same price as regular condition Big Shows, despite the fact that I sell Big Shows somehow for way more than they're listed for. So they might be listed for like £4 and postage, and I just list them for £11 now, and they sell quickly. It's crazy. So, what else did we get in this? Yeah, there is a couple, or at least one more Elite in this. We've got a basic, which is kind of interesting. It's Ted DiBiase basic. I'm not really familiar with his head mold. I don't remember him having a different one, to be honest. But I don't know if there's any money in this. To be honest, his Elites are worth a lot less than I was expecting now. Maybe it's all of the criminal activity plus the fact that he was never really popular in the first place. It's ironic, again, I was just mentioning the NWA Pick Fed. In the original draft, Ted DiBiase was supposed to do really well. He was supposed to do really well out of it. And he won't appear in it now because, I mean, again, it's just, you know, the criminal activity doesn't really remotely outweigh his appeal as a wrestler. But I don't know if there'll be any money in that or not. I don't even know if that'll sell. I mean, surely someone will probably buy it eventually, but yeah. We've got a Nunzio. Okay. We got a Xavier Woods. And finally, we got yet another Elite Randy Orton. Because I got two on my last video. But, thankfully, this isn't one I'm tempted to keep. Unlike the yellow one in the last video. It's a young Randy. It's quite nice. It's in pretty good condition, to be honest. It still has his eyebrows. Hair's a little bit worn. The decals seem to be fine. It does have that weird kind of white salt material stuff, which for some reason is just too common with these figures. Maybe we need a quick fig bath on some of these. But yeah, that's that bundle. So what was that? Seven figures, I think. Yeah, 7 figures. Can't remember what we paid for that. Probably didn't pay 7 figures for it. But yeah, so that's pretty good. And we can get these cleaned up and listed. Now we're going to go into the Vinted part of the video, the more interesting part of the video. And I'm going to try and edit these bits together where I'm not repeating myself and there's continuity between them all. But yeah. And now just to tack on this little bit on the end. So this is another one of my highest wants in figures. I'm going to have to make a list of that and then start displaying it on the screen so you guys can see me, you know, ticking them off as we go along. We got the Crime Time recently. We got Papa Shango last year. Now, we have one honestly, I'm kind of surprised this one's taken this long because it's not like Papa Shango where they're a bit scarce. But it's, you know, it definitely does have a price tag. They do turn up though. I would have thought I'd have found one by now. But it is. Hold on. I need to set him up right because he looks terrible. Like, yeah, need to get that on. It is an Elite Doink the Clown. And I got this from Vinted for £10. I panic bought it, so I had it delivered to the house rather than paying to get it delivered to the impulse locker. But then with all the mess around with Sensational Sherry not getting delivered at all because I had it delivered to the impulse locker, I'm glad I did. The joints are actually in better condition than I was expecting, which is really good. It definitely needs a clean. I don't know if you can see there, he's got a bit of browning to the knees, little tiny marks on the torso there, and he does have basically no red nose left. But, as a friend pointed out to me, if it really bothers me that much, if I can't just touch it up with a little blob of red paint, I can always use one of the heads from the new Bushwhackers, because God knows I probably won't be using them as Doink the Clown allies or anything. There's the back view. Yeah, I was kind of expecting this to come in really garbage condition, to be honest. I mean, it isn't great. There's definite markings that you can see all the way around it. But it'll do the job, you know. I was thinking, you know, even if it is mangled, for a tenner I'll sell it on. Or someone else will want it. It does come with one spare wig, which is really cool. I 100% think that, you know, at some point I will use like a Doink. I mean, that's probably another thing I could use those Bushwhacker heads for. Just make Doink allies. That's 100% something I would use. Maybe some kind of, you know, Survivor Series gimmick kind of thing as well. But yeah, it's another classic figure ticked off. I absolutely hate the way this looks with no hair on it, but just so you can see the general kind of condition of the head as well, all the way around. Doesn't really matter so much because we're going to cover it up with the wig anyway. But yeah, the joints are really fine. I thought at least it would have some loose wrists. It looked limp wristed on the listing, and it is a little bit, but it's not too bad, you know. And the shoulder's fine, the torso's really, really fine, and the waist is fine too. And the legs, like, the legs are pretty sturdy. So, yeah, I mean, they described this as, like, hardly used, like, just used a couple of times. That's obviously not the case, because there's way too much kind of wear and tear on it. Like, I mean, how was this used a few times? Was it getting thrown across the room or something? Like, yeah, no. But it is still in pretty good nick, and like I said, it'll do the job for the time being. This will probably end up getting sold off in the future if we get a new doink or if I come across another doink. But yeah, for now, this is in really, really, really passable condition. The joints are actually better than the paint, which is not really what I expected, but I'll take it, because the paint, where, you know, it's not great, but I can still work with it, you know. But if the legs are all floppy or something, can't really work with it. Really happy with that. And now I am probably, since we're doing this in multiple parts anyway, and it'll probably arrive today anyway, I am going to tack on the sensational sherry at the end. So let's go to that. So it's been 2 or 3 days, and I'm back now with the sensational sherry part of the mail opening. I've been meaning to do it, but I had my driving test coming up, and I was just completely wired. So when this actually came, I was like, yeah, nah, don't want to, no. And then I failed my driving test, and didn't really fancy doing it after that either. And it's so hot, like today and yesterday. This is like the 20th of July, 19th, 20th of July. UK guys are going to remember how hot that was whenever it is this finally goes out. But because of Vinted, again, I have to report this before 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's way too hot for this business. I have 3 mail opening videos to do, including this one, a Magic the Gathering one as well, and actually, oh no, 4! Magic the Gathering one as well, a Manchester City merch one as well, and a music one. Yeah, something's actually going on the music channel. So, this was a sensational sherry figure. Returned, as I mentioned, to the buyer by impost after not being able to deliver. So I repurchased it, paid the extra 60p to have it delivered to my house, only to get an email the day of delivery from Every saying they were unable to deliver it at like 9 o'clock in the morning. They were unable to deliver it, and I have to wait, and they'd try another 3 times. And I was like, what is going on with this figure? But luckily, I had a feeling that it was just some kind of weird system error or whatever. And thankfully it was when the Everyman showed up that afternoon and gave me this. So I did already open the bag just because GF wanted me to, and also just to check everything was okay. So here it is. It's exactly what I ordered, exactly what I wanted. Cordless drill. Cordless impact wrench, actually. God. But be realistic. Come on, be serious. And so, oh, what's this? This isn't my cordless impact wrench. This is a sensational sherry action figure. Well, they are bloody lucky that I'm the kind of guy that would also be very happy to pick up a boxed sensational sherry figure for £8. And how happy I am to actually finally have it after, whoa, what is this, week and a half I think it took for me to actually get it in my hands. Vinted's still really cool, but disappointing experience, especially since it wasn't the seller's problem, it wasn't my problem, probably wasn't even Every's problem unless they're the ones that do the impulse delivery. It's just them talking rubbish that it couldn't fit in my impulse locker. But here it is finally. As I mentioned, damage to the box, but still boxed, you know, still very much damaged in fact. Actually, it's an Amazon warehouse sticker, I'm not sure. Yeah, really just panned in, you know, it's ripped. It's got, you know, tears there, tape on the corners, you know, it's really mangled, but it hasn't been opened. And even if it was loose, £8 pretty good for it. I've only just recently been thinking like I really should pick up Sherry for the $1 Million Corporation, etc. You know, it's really a good thing to have. One thing I don't want are these Dominic Mysterio legs, so we're definitely going to chuck them on eBay and see if we can get rid of them. Absolutely no need, want, or in any way desire to use those. This line was pretty boring, I'm not gonna lie. I remember really wanting this Randy at one time because it was when I was working at Smith's, and you know, every day I'd go in and I'd be like, should I get that Randy? But I resisted, and now I have other Randys, modern Randys, Randys I'm happy with. Oh, that Randy sure was orange though, wasn't it? That's that finally sorted. You can see the head is painted pretty well, which is good. It's one thing that always concerns me a little bit with Mattel, particularly nowadays, when buying stuff online, is like face paint and stuff like that. I always like to compare them in store. I always stand there for a good while looking at like which one is painted better and so on. But yeah, so yeah, there's another figure, and this is going in the NW opening pipeline as well. But given the condition of the box and the valuation of the figure, I wouldn't imagine it'll be a long time before that one gets done. That being said, I've been trying to do NW openings for weeks, and I finally nearly brought myself to do the D'Lo Brown Legends figure, which I've probably been putting off doing for like 10 months now. I finally got around to, like, got in the mood to do it the other day, but it was just too hot. I just couldn't do it to myself, and I need that figure unboxed to carry on filming the Fix the World Fed show as well, so I really need to do that, and I've been already putting it off for 10 months anyway, and there's so much other stuff with NW opening that should have been done a long time ago that it just hasn't happened for this year, between the business and you know, motivation. A lot of the time you don't feel like doing an unboxing, especially since when I've got the lights on and the unboxing and I'm leaning over the desk and everything, you get really hot, and look at the weather, it's horrible, it's not nice. This finally mercifully brings to the end this mail opening video, even though I filmed these last two parts on two separate days. Probably won't film the first part for another couple of days because it's so hot. This is very confusing mail opening. You guys are going to see this in like the opposite order to what I filmed it in, but yeah. If you enjoyed this video, please do check out the mail opening playlist in the end screen. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought. And I really do appreciate you guys joining me. So thank you all for watching, and goodbye. Dog wants to be in. It's been a few videos since I was interrupted at all. Never mind, like, never mind about the dogs. I've also just played a Facebook video trying to react to it, right? Hey Fred, haven't had any outtakes for a while. Cool.